I don't want to sound like I'm exaggerating, but you can attest to the fact that internet connection is not the reason why you haven't started your study abroad journey. Probably you don't have enough information about it, or you are just not motivated. All right, so that's why I'm here to help. Hi everyone, you're welcome to my channel. Today I have a very special guest with us. He's currently a graduate student at Grand Valley University, and he will be sharing his journey with us. He's been able to assist a lot of students on how to achieve your study abroad goals, how to apply. And so, yes, today he's going to give us insights on how to go about it. So, stay tuned and enjoy. Hi, my special guest.
Hello, darling.
Okay, you're welcome. So, first of all, can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little about your background?
All right. Thank you so much. My name is Elijah Fosu. I'm currently a graduate student here at Grand Valley State University. I'm studying a master's degree in higher education. Prior to coming here, I graduated from the University of Cape Coast, from the Department of Business and Social Science Education. So I studied economics education, worked as a national service personnel with the department as a teaching assistant, and then yeah, when the opportunity came, I took it, and then I found myself here at Grand Valley State University. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So, can you tell us what actually motivated you to start your study abroad journey?
Um, Speaking of motivation, you know, I wanted to change my situation. I graduated from the University of Cape Coast and did my national service, and then afterwards, I was kind of like contemplating on what I really wanted to do. Before that, I had actually kind of um, talked or discussed with other people my interest in wanting to study abroad, and this desire was actually stirred up first by my brother's friend who currently works in the US here as a professor in one university. I don't remember the university, but he was the one who actually introduced me to the study abroad journey, and I got really excited about everything he told me about the opportunity to study in the US and the prospect it comes with. And then I also got in touch with, I don't want to say I got in touch, he got in touch with me. I believe you already know about Fred. He got
Oh,
in touch with me because he was like, when I was in level 200 in the University of Cape Coast, he was in his final year, and we kind of like knew each other before he graduated. And so when he came to the US, he decided to reach out to me when I was in my final year and told me about study abroad opportunities. And he was like, "My brother, when you're done with school, give me a call so we can start this journey."
okay.
So all these things were like kind of the things why reasons why I wanted to, like, I wanted to also try new things, explore new opportunities that lies outside of my country. I had never traveled out of my country before. I had also heard about how practical the education system in the United States was, so I was looking for an opportunity to also, come in here and also experience it. And again, nobody has to tell you. Almost all the people that I have seen travel come to the US for education,
Okay.
um, kind of like, have a better life in terms of, I don't want to sound very generic, but when I look at people who are coming here to study in the US and like gone through the rights procedure, and like, they've kind of, have had a very good life in terms of education and
Yeah.
experiences and everything. So I feel that was the reason why I really, really wanted to, like, give it a try myself.
Yeah.
So
All right. To make things very clear, when you said Fred, I want to specify so that people don't get it wrong. To Fred Effect channel. You can check that on YouTube. He's been very helpful, to be honest. I think he even played a role in mine coming, and so yes, we give credits to him. All right. So can you tell us how you went about choosing the country or your program? Just give us like a brief detail about it.
okay. I had three main countries in my mind when I started my study abroad journey. I had United States as one, I had Canada, and then
Okay.
I had Australia. I didn't I out of all of them, I chose United States because of how flexible it is
All
to,
right.
apply to US universities. I
Yes.
can say that it's like, from my experience, it's the easiest. It has the easiest form of application to grad school and
Mhm.
even undergrad. When I tried Australia, I had to go through agents, which I was not ready
Ready to.
to do that because I was not financially capable of paying an agent an amount of like 2,000 Ghana cedis. Young graduate who had graduated from the University of Cape Coast with no job.
No money and all
Yeah,
that.
how was I supposed to do that? So um, I decided, just when I realized I had to go through an agent, I ignored Australia's application.
Okay.
And then with Canada, to the kind of program I wanted to study, I realized that Canada did not. Um, I don't know if there are some universities in Canada that has it, but as at the time I was applying, I didn't actually come across any Canadian university that was training students on, like, becoming student affairs professionals or
Okay.
work within higher education. And that's my field. That's what my program is
Okay.
in. And then I also got in touch with one professor at the University of Cape Coast. He is currently the director for Institute of Educational Planning and Administration, IEPA.
Okay.
Dr. Mike Boachi Adam. I kind of like our paths crossed. And then he told me about the higher education program in the US because he equally got his PhD from Ohio University here in the US. So,
Okay.
I realized that it was going to be very easy for me to apply to the US. I can do all the application myself, and I I didn't need any agent, and I could also, kind of get application fee waivers. I didn't have to pay for application fees for some of the schools. So these were some of the reasons why I was like, if there is an easier route that can also give me equally good education, why not try it out? That's why I decided to, go for the United States education. Yeah.
Okay. So if I really get your story right, one thing you did with this selecting the country and all other thing associated with that was that you were really specific with the program you wanted to come and do.
Yep.
So we have people who don't even know what to come and do. They just want to come and study abroad. And so
Mm.
I would like to make this clear out that if you want to start this journey, get your program ready. Try to explore the sites or explore programs related to your area or just a career goal that if you plan to achieve a career goal, just try and explore courses you can do to achieve that goal. So the next question that I want to ask you is that what resources did you use to gather information about your goal or your study abroad journey?
Resources. Well, I think the biggest resource I had was human resource.
Okay, human resource. All right.
Yes. I fell on the support and assistance of people who had already been through the process.
Okay.
And like I already mentioned, Fred was one of
One of
them.
them. Mhm.
I also had friends who had already come, who were in the US by then when I was applying. I spoke to them as well to, kind of, that has been my principle, that wherever I want to go to in life, somebody has already been there before. So why not talk to
Sure.
them so
Sure.
that, they kind of give you
Mm,
guidance on how they got there.
true.
So human resource was like the biggest thing for me. Um, uh, Again, I think I also made good use of. Um, I mean, I think it also falls under human resource. I made good use of YouTube videos.
YouTube.
I studied almost every time when I open my laptop. The first web page that I want to visit is a university's website.
Sure.
When I started, I didn't even know how to navigate a particular university's website. But then with time, I came to realize that most universities, especially universities in the US, had very similar um, web pages in terms of like navigating where to find the programs, where to find funding and stuff like that. Um, and then again, I would say that, oh, yes, I also had like a spreadsheet of every school that I was applying to, keeping track of everything that I was doing.
Okay. But hold on, not to cut you short, but I think that falls into my next question. So
Okay.
you're saying that you used human resources and then used say let me say YouTube
Yeah.
to serve as resources for your application. Um, can you walk us through the application process from scratch
Mm.
to start to finish?
Okay. So um the application process was, it took some time and
Okay.
some practice to be able to understand the whole process.
Mhm.
Um, but then what I did first was that I kind of had it's a very lame idea, but I hope it helps somebody.
Okay.
I downloaded a US map, and there are 50 states in the US.
Yeah.
So I looked at the map, and then I decided to like randomly select some states.
Yeah.
I selected 10 states out of
Okay.
the 50. I think, are they 50? How many states are there? Is
Yeah,
it
they're 50.
52? 50? Okay, yeah. So I, you know, randomly selected 10 out of that. And then because I said I had spoken to people, they gave me more information about what kind of universities I should be applying to. So I was focusing more on like land grant universities, regional public universities, and um, R1 universities. The reason is because these institutions have funding for graduate students. If you
Okay.
are qualified for it, they provide more funding for students.
Okay.
So I made a list for myself. I had a whole Excel spreadsheet with information like program title, program director's name, um, email of the program director, deadline for admissions, submission of application. Um, what else? Record the documents needed for the application. Um, yeah, there were so many things on the spreadsheet, but that was keeping track of. So it really helped. I can say that spreadsheet really helped me a lot to keep track of all the schools that I was applying to
Okay.
and schools that provided any kind of support or funding for international students. And if there were like specific funding that was directed for only international students, if schools had such resources, I was keeping track of all of that. And then out of all the schools I came about, or out of all the schools that I identified, I decided to apply to 5 of them. The reason why I decided to apply to those 5 was because I had established contact with the program directors in the institutions. I had sent out cold emails to them, inquiring more about the program and the funding opportunities for me as an international student. And they had gotten back to me, letting me know that yes, we receive international students and we have funding for international students as well in the
Okay.
form of graduate research, graduate teaching assistantship or graduate administrative jobs and stuff like that. So those were the schools once they had responded to me, I applied. I had to submit my, all the things you need for application. You need your personal statement. Some schools refer to it as statement of purpose. You also need letters of recommendation. That was like a big thing for me because I worked as a teaching assistant with the department. Getting recommendation letters was kind of very easy for me because my professors would vouch for me and like write recommendations for me,
Okay.
which I'm very thankful to them for doing that for me. And then GPA, yeah, my transcripts I had to, submit. Most of the schools demanded official transcripts, and by official I mean we had to let my institution send the transcript
To the
directly to the school I was applying to, and not me uploading the document. Well, some schools accept students uploading their own documents, and that's fine. But I had to. Most of the schools I applied to, I had to let University of Cape Coast send the transcript to the school I was applying to. And then, yeah, one thing that I think really helped me a lot in my application process was I had people review my statement of purpose. Like I said, I had somebody who was already in the program and knew more about the program review my statement of purpose for me and gave me a go ahead that I was good to go. And then, I just submitted the application. Some schools I got free application fees, other schools I had to pay for them. So, yeah.
All right. So just to sum what you have said so far, so you started with surveying for the schools
Mhm.
and then gathering your data about these number of schools that you wanted to apply to. And then afterwards, you started reaching out to professors or the staff in that program that you wanted to do. But before that, you had already reached out to your friends who were capable to help you do what you wanted to do. And then after sending out the code email, I think you said code email, but it's just like sending an email out to a professor to find out information about the program you want to apply to. And so after sending out this email, you now started your application. And then you got some friends to review your documents for you, which included your personal statement, your resume, your transcripts, either official or unofficial. And then you submitted your application, right?
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So now the next question. In going through this process, all right. So let me just hit on what happens after submitting the application. So right after submitting, you just go through the, I think, admission. The next thing will be like getting feedback from the program that you've been
Yeah.
admitted. So in case anybody wants to know what happens after submitting application, you now wait for the information on whether you've been admitted or you've been rejected from the school. All right. Now, what was your biggest challenge during this application process?
Uh, Obviously, finances was one of the biggest
Okay.
challenges, but that didn't stop me. Like I said, some of the schools
Exactly.
actually also provided fee waivers for me, so it didn't stop me from applying. I can also say that the emotions I had to go through waiting for my admission decision alone was a challenge. Yes,
Okay. Okay.
after submitting the application and then just sitting down, relaxing and waiting for like decision from the school alone, the emotional stress you go through thinking about that because you know the kind of work you've put in the application process,
Exactly.
right? And you are not expecting a rejection. Um, I have to say there were some schools that actually rejected me, and that
Okay.
was a big blow in my face. But that didn't stop me from going because I had people who were like telling me, "Oh, rejection is part of the process." And then I came to understand that once you get rejected, you don't start, and then you want to start the process again. You don't start from scratch. You start from
Yeah.
experience because you know what you've been through it before and all that. Another challenge that I felt I had was um, I would say waiting on professors to like respond to my email as well. There were some, I sent out a lot of emails, but only a few of them responded, and that was like it made me feel like, wait, am I not saying the right thing in the email,
Okay.
or what could be the problem? I was just thinking about what I had done wrong to not receive or get responses from these professors. I'm trying to think of other challenges that I went through. I know people complain about recommendation, but
Yeah.
fortunately for me, I didn't have that challenge because my professors were willing to do it for me because I was, very close to them and I was working with them directly at that time. So recommendation was not a problem for me. Um, I don't know. I experienced some challenges, but I'm trying to think about them. But
Sure.
yeah,
But I think one of the major challenges international students face is mostly the application fee.
Mm.
And yeah, like when you change the dollar into cedis, it's quite a lot, and so getting that amount of money to pay is difficult. So for me, I think my advice would be that mostly you just start the application ahead of time.
Mhm.
Do not submit, but start the application ahead of time. And the moment they give out that kind of free space, they waive the application fee. You do your best to submit the application on time, and then you enjoy that free benefit. But if you don't have it, your determination should at least motivate you to pay for the application fee. All right.
Yeah.
So
And then before you move to the next question, I also want to say that there this application process is study abroad is like an investment. So
okay.
even if you don't get fee waivers, be willing and prepared to spend some money.
Yeah.
Spend some money to get some applications submitted. The month of October is actually a period of so many application fee waivers. A lot of schools here waive their applications in the month of October. So if
Mhm.
I were you, like Darlene said, I would start the application but I will not submit it. Wait until the month of October, and then you can request for application fee waiver.
Okay.
Or some schools will just advertise it to students during the month. And I think Kent State usually does that in the month of October. Kent State University, and there are some universities in Texas too that actually do that in the month of October. So you can, look out for those institutions during October, and you can get free waivers. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing. But this question might be my last question. Um, are there any mistakes or wrongdoings somebody can avoid in this process? And what advice can you give to people who are interested in starting this journey?
Yeah. You In terms of, you have to make sure you know what you want, right? Um, think of it this way: you don't want to start the application process not knowing what programs you're applying to or
Mm-hmm.
how to tailor your statement of purpose.
Okay.
Think about it, sit down and reflect on what you really want to do, and think about the long term after graduation. What do you want to do with the program?
Mm-hmm.
How is it going to help you? Do you understand the curriculum? Things like that. And then make sure you're also doing a lot of research. People don't do a lot of research. They just see people applying to schools and they also decide to just, give it a try. Oh, somebody is applying to this school. Let me also give it a try. No, you're applying to different programs. Even if it's the same program, areas of concentration may be different from school to school. So
Exactly.
make sure you're doing your research very well to understand um, what you are
Actually doing
doing. And then another mistake I think we do as applicants is that we don't follow up with whatever we start with. When you start an application process, for example, when you send an email and you don't get a response, if you are really eager to go to that particular institution, you want to send a follow up email. And I want to say that sometimes if professors don't respond to your email, one of the reasons why they might not respond to it is probably because the information you're looking for is on the website,
mm-hmm.
and it doesn't speak very well of you if the
Okay.
information is on the website and you have come into their email again to ask them the same questions that is available on the website. So you'd want to make sure you're doing your research very well. um yeah, and then, you know make sure you stay positive and stay strong, and expect that things will go your way, and
Okay.
definitely one of them would
Pick
work
for
out
you.
for you.
All right.
Yes.
So this is my final question. I forgot to ask you this question. I know you are actually fully funded. You entered a fully funded program. How
Mm.
did you secure this funding?
Well, it took me a lot of interviews to be able to get this funding,
Okay.
I must say. I remember that I had to do like 17 different interviews in just one day.
Oh my
I
God.
had to do 10 interviews at the University of Houston and
Okay.
7 different interviews at Grand Valley State University.
Okay.
You know, they advertised so many positions, and I took my time to write different, what do you call it?
Cover letters.
Cover letters for all the programs and all the positions I was applying for. So my role is it's kind of like an administrative position.
All right.
So once I heard about the advertisement of the graduate assistant positions available, I applied to everyone that I felt like I could work in, because I had different experiences. I felt like I could, you know, work in so many areas. And even if I didn't have the required experience, I kind of taught myself that I am teachable and willing to learn. So I applied to so many of them. I did so many interviews, and I got accepted into, you know, at so many positions, and I had to make a decision to finally come here. So
Yeah.
yeah, make sure you have a very good, what do you call it,
Resume.
resume. Make sure it is very well structured. There is the American standard for writing resumes. You would want to make sure you Google that and find the format for American resume or the US resume. And then also make sure you write a very good cover letter. Don't use the same cover letter for all positions. Change them, let them know that you are bringing something new on board in terms of the position. Like when it comes to the position, that particular position, what are they going to gain from you when they employ you? um, they're going to take care of your tuition for you, and they're going to give you monthly stipend, and
All
if
right.
possible they can also take care of your health insurance for you. So what are you giving back to them? What should they be expecting from you? And don't forget, you have a lot of people applying from all over the world, so
Yeah.
it's making you stand out. You have to make sure you're
Exactly.
giving it your best, your all.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that definitely one of them would work out for you. So yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for making time for us. I really appreciate you coming to share your experience with us on this Darling Grace channel. So finally, if anybody is interested in coming to the US, I would advise that you take your time to do your application. get people to review your documents for you. Be specific with what you really want. Don't apply into any program, because when you get here, you would have to prove yourself fit. Like, make sure you are going to prove that you didn't fit for what they've given you. And so just choose what you are interested in, something that's related to the career goal you want to achieve, then come and do it. And so, yes, I'll end our live session here. Feel free to send me an email or comment on this video. I'll also add Elijah's information to it. You can reach him on LinkedIn and then also via his email. Thanks for watching this video. Bye.
Bye.